Hello everyone, welcome to my week 2 presentation on Foreign Service Officer and Government Job Postings. This is a quick overview of today's presentation. I'll talk about the Foreign Service Officer position with the U.S. Department of State. I'll explain which career track I would choose, discuss the application process, how I would prepare, share my thoughts on the recruitment video, and give a recommendation for improving recruitment and diversity. I'll then talk about the 2 government job postings, the City of Palm Springs Deputy City Clerk position and the California Department of Education Legislative Representative position. I'll explain how I found each posting, why I selected them, and finish by comparing federal, state, and local government hirings. After watching the videos and learning more about the different career tracks, I would choose public diplomacy. A public diplomacy officer helps build relationships between the United States and people in other countries. They communicate U.S. policies, work with the media, they bring people from different cultures together and promote values such as free speech and transparency. I think this career track fits well with the type of work I do. In my current role, I work with community members and different organizations. One of the things I enjoy most is taking policy that may seem complicated and explaining it in a way that's easier for people to understand. Another part of the role that stood out to me was the importance of language and cultural understanding. When speaking in Spanish, I've seen how much of a difference it makes when people can communicate in their language. They feel comfortable. It also builds trust, and people feel heard and included. The application process to become a Foreign Service Officer begins by submitting an application through the U.S. Department of State. Applicants then take the Foreign Service Officer test, which measures writing, critical thinking, and general knowledge. Those who pass move on to the Qualifications Evaluation Panel, where their qualifications and experience are reviewed to determine whether they move forward. Next is an oral assessment, which evaluates communication, leadership, and problem-solving skills. The final stage includes a medical clearance, security clearance, and a review. Once those requirements are completed, qualified applicants are placed on the hiring register and may receive a job offer when a position becomes available. If I were preparing for this career, I would first look for opportunities to gain experience at a federal level. Since my current role is in state government, I think working or interning in Congress or another federal agency would help me better understand federal policy. I would also continue looking for opportunities to strengthen my public speaking, since the role spends a lot of time speaking with different audiences, whether it's media, community groups, or government officials. So being able to communicate clearly is an important role. I would also make it a priority to stay informed on current events and internal affairs, since the role involves communicating U.S. policies and working with people from different countries. Overall, I thought the videos were interesting even though they did feel outdated. I think hearing from current officers encourages people to apply and makes the testing process feel less intimidating. I also think the videos could have done a better job of showing what the role is actually like hearing their day-to-day responsibilities, some of their biggest experiences, and what they enjoy most about the job. I think hearing those personal stories would make it easier for people to picture themselves in that type of role. One recommendation I would make based on our textbook is showcasing career growth, training opportunities, work-life balance, and employee benefits. I think showing more of those things would make the position more appealing. Since this career does require for people to be living in different countries, I also think it would be nice to show more of what life is outside of work. For example, showing families living at U.S. embassies, the community they build there, and how they adjust to living in different communities. I found this job posting on the CalCareers website, which allows you to search for different state government jobs. I searched for legislative representative because it closely relates to the work I do now. The posting stood out to me because many of the responsibilities are similar to what I do, and I also like that the position focused on education policy. Education is an area I'm interested in, and it was the posting that stood out to me the most. When viewing Exhibit 3.3 from our textbook, I could see that the job posting also included the job title, the department, salary range, job duties, the typical tasks, minimum qualifications you need, the application process, and it also has an equal employment opportunity statement. It shows the job classifications, career opportunities, and employee benefits. After comparing the three job postings, I noticed they all had some similarities. Each posting included the job title, salary, job duties, minimum qualifications, and application instructions. They also explain what the position involved and what applicants need to qualify. I don't think every federal, state, and local job posting will look the same because each position has different requirements. But for the postings I reviewed, the federal position required applicants to complete testing before moving forward in the hiring process. The state position placed an emphasis on meeting the minimum qualifications and having the relevant experience, and the local job posting had more concise and focused on the most important information, such as the job duties, qualifications, and application requirements.